Thank you, Jane. Hello and welcome to Look North. On the programme tonight, a 20-year-old man is sentenced to 23 years in prison for the murder of a teenage refugee in an unprovoked attack in Huddersfield.
I cannot begin to imagine how Ahmed felt in his last moments, alone in a strange country that should have been a place where he had felt safe.
We'll have the latest from court. Also tonight, a coroner says a football fan died of natural causes during a match at Hillsborough, despite criticism of his treatment. Normally in bloom, we find out why the North York Moors has lost its purple-coloured heather. We catch up with 10-year-old Sophie, who's been spotted as a future champion after helping to save her local skate park.
Well, this cloudy picture from Pateley Bridge this afternoon sums up what it's been like for much of our region today, but I'm quietly confident there will be more sunshine around over the weekend. Join me for that all-important forecast.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A man who murdered a teenage Syrian refugee in a busy town centre street has been jailed for life with a minimum term of 23 years. 20-year-old Alfie Franco stabbed 16-year-old Ahmad Al-Ibrahim with a flick knife after confronting him in Huddersfield in April. Franco had denied murder but was found guilty by a jury yesterday following a 6-day trial at Leeds Crown Court. Cathy Minton has more.
20-year-old Alfie Franco appeared in the dock dressed smartly in a navy blue suit and a tie. He showed no emotion as the judge handed down a life sentence with a minimum term of 23 years before he'd be considered for parole. Following a 6-day trial here at Leeds Crown Court, he was found guilty of the murder of 16-year-old Syrian refugee Ahmad Al-Ibrahim. At the centre of this trial is a piece of CCTV which shows the murder taking place on a busy Huddersfield street in broad daylight in full view of members of the public, including children. A confrontation lasting around 40 seconds captured on camera. Alfie Franco, seen here on the right wearing grey, an ice cream in one hand, flick knife in the other, fatally stabbed Ahmad Al-Ibrahim in the neck. The judge said the altercation was short, but too long to be described as spontaneous. Alfie Franco claimed he'd acted in self-defence because he thought Ahmad had a knife and would attack him first. But today, Judge Howard Crowson told him that this was not a mistake or a misconception by you, it was a lie. He added, during this trial you tried to portray him as the aggressor, but CCTV showed he was no threat to you whatsoever. A victim impact statement read out in court on behalf of the family described Ahmad as sociable and ambitious, and he had dreams of becoming a doctor. It said that his father had suffered a heart attack since learning of his son's murder, and said that the family had suffered an irreplaceable loss and now had a sadness that they would live with for the rest of their lives.
23 years for Franco. He's got now that length of time to consider his actions on that day of taking that knife. He made a conscious decision. He's now got 23 years to reflect on that. I just hope it brings some form of comfort to Ahmad's family, both here and in Syria. That's how long he's going to serve in prison before he can be even considered for release.
For Huddersfield's MP, the case raises the importance of tackling knife crime.
Knife crime has been an issue in Huddersfield, as it has been for a number of towns across the country, in a way that we haven't had to deal with before. So it's really important that we stay on top of this, and I'm working really closely with the police and the council and also with the government to make sure we tackle this and that this remains a priority.
Ahmad Al-Ibrahim fled war-torn Syria with dreams of a safer life and an education in the UK. A chance encounter on a Yorkshire street ended those dreams. Cathy Minton, BBC Look North, Leeds.
A coroner has recorded a verdict of death by natural causes after a football fan collapsed during a match at Hillsborough last year. West Bromwich Albion supporter Mark Townsend suffered a cardiac arrest while watching his team play Sheffield Wednesday. Some witnesses described the response to the emergency as a shambles, but today the coroner said a minute-long delay in calling for help didn't contribute to his death. Tom Ingle reports.
Best mate, brother, just a genuine, beautiful human being who's missed every day.
A brother remembers after a difficult 10-day inquest. Mark Townsend followed his beloved West Bromwich Albion to Hillsborough a year ago, but while he was there he suffered a cardiac arrest. Despite efforts from fellow fans, private paramedics and the Yorkshire Ambulance Service, he died at the Northern General Hospital.
Recording her verdict of a death by natural causes, the coroner said, on the balance of probability, the cardiac arrest that Mark suffered was not survivable. During this 10-day inquest, the court has been played CCTV pictures of the efforts underway to try and revive Mark. The coroner said, it's clear the first shock to him is delivered in 5 minutes from a defibrillator, and that's care comparable to a hospital setting.
Evidence had been heard the response to the emergency was a shambles, but today the coroner said it was a reasonable decision not to stop the match, and while there was confusion between teams about the drugs that were administered, that didn't contribute to Mark's death. Neither did a delay of 1 minute and 3 seconds between the alarm first being raised by fans and the first call for help over the radio.
The coroner has also heard evidence about the changes made by the agencies involved in Mark's care since he died. She said she was satisfied risks had been reduced, but she will still write a prevention of future deaths report concerning the position of stewards in football stadia who have access to radios.
As long as that gets done, that's all I can hope for, and if it prevents another family going through what we, the Townsends, have gone through these last 12 months, it's worth it, as long as, I say, these promises are carried through.
In a statement, Sheffield Wednesday said they welcomed the findings. The club complies with relevant safety guidance. They added, "We will carefully consider the coroner's recommendation to explore whether there may be ways to further improve the speed of communication on match days." Concluding the inquest, the coroner praised Mark's family for their dignity. She said he would be forever in their hearts. Tom Ingle, BBC Look North, Sheffield.
Some more news from around the region now, and police have revealed the name of a teenager who lost his life following a stabbing in Leeds on Wednesday. 19-year-old Harry Abbott was stabbed at an altercation in Seacroft 2 days ago before being taken in a car to Hare Hills, where he died. An 18-year-old woman was arrested on suspicion of murder and has now been bailed. A 21-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of aiding an offender, and 3 men have been arrested on suspicion of aggravated burglary in relation to the incident. The date has been confirmed for the funeral of cricket legend Dickie Bird. Dickie was arguably the most famous umpire in the world. His funeral will take place at St Mary's Church in his hometown of Barnsley on Sunday the 19th of October. The council says the service will be broadcast over speakers to people outside. Dickie died last month at the age of 92. Now, runners will be able to join Leeds Rhinos legend Kevin Sinfield in his latest motor neurone disease fundraiser in December. The Leeds Santa Dash has been announced for Sunday, December the 7th, on the final day of Kevin's 7 in 7 Together challenge. Kevin will be running the last of his ultra marathons, but he'll also start the Santa Dash, which is a 3-kilometre course between Leeds Beckett University and Headingley Stadium. He's incredible, isn't he? Now, watching Friday's Look North. Still to come on tonight's programme, we're off for a celebrity paddle.
A serious sporting challenge for us on Look North tonight. We are still trying to find a sport that Dame Jessica Ennis-Hill is not very good at. And I'm afraid we've failed already because she's brilliant at paddle, raising funds for the Sheffield Children's Hospital.
Now, if you've been to the North York moors over the past few weeks, you may have noticed the landscape has lost its lovely purple colour. It's due to one of the most severe infestations of the heather beetle, which saps the shrub of its purple foliage. In late summer and early autumn, walkers descend to admire the dramatic heather bloom, but this year the brown landscape looks withered and dry. Heidi Tomlinson reports.
The North York moors, a stunning exposed landscape known for its late summer covering of purple heather.
Looking at it now, we can see it's all brown or grey or various shades of. It should all be green at the moment.
Heather beetles have been grazing on our moorlands for thousands of years, but recently outbreaks have become more common.
The heather beetle has affected it massively this year. It's the worst I can remember.
There was no lilac carpet this year, though, just a sea of dead shrubs, consumed by an infestation of the heather beetle.
The last time we had a big bout of heather beetle was 2019, 2020. And this is by far the worst. We've still got beetle around at the moment, which is unusual at this time of year.
With a coating of dead shrubs, the moors have turned a deep brown, a harsh habitat for wildlife which depend on healthy green heather for winter food. Withered plants also increase the chance of wildfires, a grave concern given the recent blaze on Langdale Moor.
As it is at the moment, that's a massive fire risk. It'll just run a lot faster and a lot hotter. So that now is like kindling as you would light your fire with.
Record-breaking dry weather this year may have contributed towards the increased beetle population.
So heather beetle is a native species. It naturally occurs throughout the British Isles and it predominantly feeds on heather, Calluna vulgaris, which is the common heather that you see across many of the upland areas of Britain. Unfortunately, this year we've had a really high number of heather beetles seen and observed, which has had quite a big impact on the heather in the moors here. And that, we think part of the reason for that is probably, the impacts of climate change and the really unseasonal and really long-term dry weather that we've had. So we had quite an early spring. It was quite warm. That would have brought beetles out of hibernation much earlier than normal.
At popular viewing spot the Hole of Horkham, green fields provide a contrast to the mass of rusty brown. Walkers come from all over the world to take in this view. Most of them are unaware that an insect has killed off swathes of the heather here.
Well, when we came in the summer, end of July time, it certainly wasn't the colour we expected to see. We came hoping to see a mass of purple, and it wasn't like that at all.
The walks were perfect anyway, but we like the country. But yeah, we would have loved to see that it was more purple.
This is nature. We can't do anything about it, I think. All brown, no flower at all. No. We have seen a few flowers, we have seen them, but not much, no. No. Yeah, it's a pity.
Heather is a resilient plant used to harsh conditions. It now needs a cold winter to kill off hibernating beetles, so the moorland can once again provide fodder for its wildlife and a feast for the human eye. Heidi Tomlinson, BBC Look North on the North York Moors.
Yeah, let's hope it comes back next year. Now, the Mayor of York and North Yorkshire is launching a new campaign today to boost the economy by helping people get physically and mentally fit. It's called Moving Forward and it's backed by £7 million of mayoral money and is partly inspired by the mental health challenges that the Mayor, David Skaith, has faced. The idea is that improving people's health will get them get jobs and keep them. Here's our political reporter, Richard Edwards.
A midweek five-a-side football match in York, but this one's about mental as well as physical fitness. It's organised by men's mental health group Menfulness, and getting stuck in at this session is York and North Yorkshire's elected mayor, who's putting millions into his Moving Forward campaign. Launched today and backed by county-wide charity North Yorkshire Sport, it's about helping people get well, then, when they are, back into the workplace.
Our Moving Forward campaign is a campaign that we're looking to bring together so many different aspects. So how we can support men's mental health, movement activity and sport and active travel right across York and North Yorkshire. Around 2021, during the COVID times with my business, with losing my dad, I just felt it was a really difficult time. I also felt I actually stopped participating in sport, I shut myself off, I stopped seeing friends and family and loved ones, and I found myself quite isolated. And it wasn't until I started engaging back into activity, into sport, seeing friends again, seeing family again, that I actually felt that I built that resilience up again.
We can't be underestimated what exercise does to your physical and your mental health. I mean, it's intrinsically linked, isn't it? To be able to go outside, to look after yourself, those endorphins running, even if it's just going for a walk, even if it's up to the shops, taking your dog for a walk, playing footy with the mates, some of our boxing activities that we've got. These type of activities are really important to get guys to really look after themselves. It's paramount to self-care.
The campaign's been backed by one of the world's leading thinkers on men's health, who's based a few miles across the city at the University of York.
I think our Mayor David is leading from the front in this area, not just by foregrounding the importance of addressing men's mental health as an important element of healthy and thriving communities and what it means to grow our economy within our region, but also talking about his own personal experience of his own mental health struggles. That's massively important, because key to overcoming some of the issues that we have in men's mental health is making it normal, making it acceptable to be able to reach out and talk about your own experience. And David's doing that and leading by example, and that will have ripple effects.
A dozen miles down the A19 in Selby is mental health charity The Big Community. Clients there say they want to get back to work but need help to break down the barriers.
More group activity and more activities with potential employers to get to know that we're here and we're capable. You know, we're not a write-off.
This is personal for the Mayor, but he'll be judged on results if, when he's up for re-election in 2028, he can show more people are back in work and the economy's growing. He'll have chalked up 2 of his biggest mayoral goals. Richard Edwards, BBC Look North, York.
Now, we're sticking with that sporting theme, and some of South Yorkshire's best-known celebrities are battling it out on the paddle court this evening. It's to raise money for the Sheffield Children's Hospital. Paddle is a fast-growing sport with elements of tennis, squash and badminton. And our Oggy is there for us now. Oggy, it's all yours.
Thank you, Amanda. So much celebrity and sporting talent in one location in the South Sheffield suburbs, and I don't want any of your quips about how I blagged my way in here, by the way. I just want to show you who's actually here. I'm just going to turn over to this court. That really is former England captain Joe Root, who's from this district, of course, playing paddle. And over on this court, Sheffield Wednesday fans, you'll see Daniel Pudil against the Dame Jessica Ennis-Hill, and you will see and be reminded of their sporting talents. How seriously are they taking it? They told us earlier on.
Still very competitive, even though I'm absolutely rubbish at paddle, but do you know what, it's an amazing opportunity to come here. We're raising money for Bright Young Dreams, the campaign for the Sheffield Children's Hospital, and yeah, just having a great time doing it, which is fun.
Would you say Joe Root's any good at paddle, by the way?
He is actually amazing. I've never played him before, so today's the first time I've played him, but I think he went easy on me. He's very, very skilled, obviously a great sportsman.
We went to the same school together, and she used to win everything. All the sports day, all the awards. Incredible what she's achieved in her career, but tonight I managed to beat her at paddle, so I've finally beaten her at something, which is nice. But no, it's, like I said, it's amazing what she achieved in her career, but it's also amazing what she's doing now as well. And all the work that the charity are producing is hopefully going to make a massive difference for young kids and the next generation.
There are so many layers to this here at Abbeydale tonight. Sporting talent in Joe Root and Jessica Ennis and many others that we never knew about before. There's some banter, of course, but it also just shows what brilliant human beings they are. Even if they've refused me a couple of autograph requests tonight. Though John Richardson is kind enough not to do that, John. This is about community. And love for your own. You've even visited the hub of the Sheffield Children's Hospital charity recently, haven't you?
Yeah, so we've got the Beckton Centre. I mean, Sheffield Children's Hospital is a world leading, it's an amazing resource. So we've got the Beckton Centre, which is specifically for children and adolescent mental health. We're seeing kids all over the country in there, and all the money from today is going to go there and help that fight against the problems we're seeing at the moment. And otherwise I wouldn't be here. Because I'm supposed to say we're having a great time for a great cause, and I'm not. I'm hating it because I'm getting thrashed.
But like other celebrities here, sporting and otherwise, you're not saying that it's about you. Quite the opposite. It's about Sheffield and what the city of Sheffield can offer.
It is absolutely. Everyone here has paid a lot to be here. All that money will go to some of the projects that we've already got that are making a massive difference. So, yeah, I'm very aware. I mean, that's Joe Root over there. I met Brian Dean today. I've had a lovely day.
Daniel Pudil here as well for Sheffield Wednesday fans. Yes. Keep up your wonderful work as a comedian and actor, and it goes on here tonight. The Sheffield Children's Charity, the website will give you donation opportunities if and when you're ready to do so. Back to you, Amanda.
Yeah, great cause. Thank you very much, Paul. Now, Now on to football, and two of our best known teams outside the Football League tomorrow is the most important match of the season so far. It's the FA Cup qualifiers, and both York City and Halifax Town have a chance of winning through to next month's first round proper, where all the teams from Leagues 1 and 2 get involved. York were impressive last season, losing 3-2 in the first round to Wickham. They're away at Rochdale tomorrow, while Halifax take on Southport.
When I was at Marine, I think it was around 2019-20, just as it was lockdown time, and you know, we went on a good cup run there, and we ended up playing against Tottenham in the third round proper. So that was a great experience. Obviously, I think I was 20 at the time, so playing against Premier League opponents, and they were top at the Prem at the time. So it's probably the highlight, and probably could be the highlight of my career in the FA Cup. Hopefully, can have another moment like that with Halifax.
Fingers crossed. Now, it's a sport that requires fearlessness, determination and lightning reflexes, and has traditionally been dominated by men. But now an 11-year-old girl from West Yorkshire has been showing other skateboarders what she's made of. Sophie, who started skateboarding 2 years ago, has caught the attention of the sport's governing body and has been selected for the Pipeline programme that develops potential competitive skateboarders. Kathy Killick's been to see her in action.
At the tender age of just 11, Sophie, who's from Shelf near Halifax, is up there with the best skateboarders in the country. She's only recently started competing, but came 7th in the Skateboard GB National Championships this summer.
It gives me lots of adrenaline and it's really fun. It was scary, but I was thinking, if I don't learn, how am I going to improve? I've been coming skating 4 or 5 times a week, just like putting as much effort as I can in, and not like making it unfun, just like having fun at the same time.
We first met Sophie 2 years ago when her local skate park was threatened with closure because it couldn't pay an unexpectedly high energy bill. Sophie made cards to help fundraise, and the park was saved. It meant she could continue what was then a new hobby. Fast forward 2 years and she's completely at home.
It has changed her completely. Just before she started skateboarding, she was extremely nervous. She wouldn't have spoken to anybody. It's amazing, she'll literally speak to anybody now. It makes her very independent, a lot more confident. And I mean, she blows me away every time she skates because I think, I can't believe you've just done that trick.
I'd like to go to different countries to do competitions, and like my dreams to go to the Olympics.
We'll see what happens, but you know, she's definitely got that focus. You know, at the weekend she was trying to learn a new trick, and she spent 6 hours, 2 days solid, so 12 hours in total to get a trick. You know, it's amazing really.
Skateboarding only became an Olympic event 5 years ago, so Sophie's well placed to develop alongside the sport. And if that success should come her way, you saw her here first. Kathy Killick, BBC Look North, Leeds.
Yeah, definitely one to watch. Now, do you recognise this fella behind me? There he is, Dodge the dog, and he's part of a team from CBeebies who have come to the Alhambra in Bradford to put on their annual panto, and this year it's Cinderella. There are 4 performances this weekend, but don't worry, if you can't make it, you'll be able to see the performance at cinemas across the UK from mid-November. We've been catching up with 3 members of the cast at rehearsals, where they were joined by children from community groups across the city.
Right,
right,
left. Okay, like it's a huge honour to be able to do something like this in the City of Culture and to bring the magic of CBeebies to kids who could never imagine people like us coming to them and making them happy and bring them into our world. I feel really blessed that we get to do that for kids, because I mean I never got to do that and have CBeebies come and do a show for me. So to be able to do it for other children is really special. Do what you do and do it. Nice.
I think CBeebies do, you know, stories that we all know and love, but they always give it a gorgeous twist, and that definitely goes with the same with Cinderella. It's magical, it's funny, Like every character is funny.
Wait, how many hands?
Just the one.
I've only got paws. We have all the usual stuff in our panto, all the fantastic stuff that we always bring every year. We've got songs, we've got dances, we've got some magic, and of course, we've got a showbiz doggy. That's me. I'm talking about me.
Now, it is, of course, nearly the weekend, so what we want to know, Paul, is what's the weather going to do?
Lots of sunshine.
Yay,
A massive
lovely.
contrast compared with last weekend when we had Storm Amy, of course, but lots of sunshine to come. But this picture here from Maz in Stransell just offers a clue. With the sunshine, we're likely to see not just mist, but an increasing problem with fog, perhaps on Sunday morning more especially. And this was taken by John Leach. Obviously, he's got specialist equipment there to take that, but that is Comet Lemon. It's one of two, I think, that are in the night sky at the moment. That was taken at 6 o'clock this morning. Quite a capture there. So keep the pictures coming in on X, on Instagram and the Weather Watcher website. So most of us tomorrow having a lovely autumnal day, lots of blue sky and sunshine. There will be some fog first thing, taking a few hours to clear, more especially the Vale of York and the Trent Valley, the other valley bottoms through the Pennines, but high pressure in complete control of the weather. So it's dry through the weekend. The whole of next week as well. We'll be chasing cloud around next week, but it does look dry and there'll be some sunshine around at times. Right, there's a satellite picture. There was some lovely sunshine for a time this morning, but a lot of cloud has been filtering again down from the northwest, but it's fairly tenuous now. It will continue to slowly break up. We'll see increasing amounts of clear weather, especially later tonight, and there'll be some mist and fog, as I've mentioned, in some places, down to 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow's high water times in Scarborough 7:27, Bridlington at 7:42. So if you wake up to a bit of fog, it'll take a few hours to clear, but I think most of us will wake up to blue sky with plenty of sunshine around. Although there'll be a bit of fair weather cloud later on, I think really for many of us, it's a lovely October autumnal day with sunshine for most of us. Temperatures, again above average, we should be around about 13, 14, 16, possibly 17 the high tomorrow. Sunday then much more in the way of fog, could take quite a while to clear. Eventually we'll all become dry with some sunshine and it's fine and dry as far as the eye can see. Not looking too bad, Amanda.
I tell you what, it can be the most beautiful time of the year,
Stunning.
can't it? Blue skies, autumnal leaves.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Paul. You can come again. That's it from us. Do have a lovely weekend. Enjoy that sunshine and we'll see you again for the late news and weather. Goodbye.